So, good morning to one and all those who are present over this slide. Today, I, Prayas Sahu of Standard 10E, is going to tell you about an issue which took more than 70 years to get eradicated from India. It is none other than Jammu and Kashmir issue. Some people may say you like that it is Article 375A, 370 and 35A. So let's get started. First of all, let us know about the content of this topic. So this presentation consists of establishment, how Europeans established their colonies in India, then how India was able to join its provinces, then about the history of Jammu and Kashmir, which is the main one, then what were the special status given to the Jammu and Kashmir, that is Article 370 and 35A, then revolts of people against Article 370 and 35A, then removal of 370 and 35A by our Indian Constitution. So next. So before coming to the main topic, that is how history of Jammu and Kashmir, first of all let us create a background so that it will look attractive, and it is also necessary. So first of all, East India Company established on 31st December 1600, and at that time it faced a lot of competition. As you all know that Dutch, Danes, French peoples also came here for doing trade works. Then afterwards, when Robert Clive defeated Siraj-ud-Dowla in the Battle of Plassey in 23rd June 1757, East India Company gradually gained its popularity. Now you may ask, who is Siraj-ud-Dowla? Siraj-ud-Dowla was the Nawab of Bengal at that time. This incident happened in Bengal, and Robert Clive was a British official. So then East India Company took the administration of the whole country when Robert Clive won in the battle of Buxar in October 1764. This battle of Buxar was fought between Robert Clive and the three kings. They were Mir Qasim of Bengal, Nawab of Bengal he was, Mir Qasim. Then Shuja-ud-Dowla, who was the Nawab of Awadh, and Shah Alam, who was, that Mughal emperor. Then afterwards, East India Company took most of the colonies at the time of Sepoy Mutiny, when our Indian people when the first war of independence was fought and we lost it. At that time they have gathered a huge amount of area from India, and they were in the nook and corners of India. Most of the places were being acquired by these British officials, you can say, at that time. Then what happened after the Second World War in 2nd September 1945, a UN resolution was passed. It consisted of that European countries will have to leave their colonies and come to Europe. And India was the biggest colony of British officials. So they thought to declare India as a freedom state, or we can say independent India. So Lord Mountbatten was assigned as the general administrator of India to do those paperworks during the time of independence. So Lord Mountbatten was also a good administrator also. So at that time they declared India free and did the general election, and Jawaharlal Nehru formed the first interim government. You know that what Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel means people wanted that Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel will be the first prime minister, but he formed the first interim government. Then afterwards, what happened? What happened? Ki before the independence, India was divided into two parts. The part which is directly governed by the British officials, and the part which were captured by the princely king, princely, and other part which is known as the princely states, or which were ruled by the king. Then at that time, India was divided into 565 provinces. So, India was divided into 565 provinces, and at that time, in 1946, Black Friday incident happened. So, it resulted in the formation of two nations theory, and people started demanding there will be two nations, India and Pakistan, which is now India and Pakistan. Then afterwards, what happened? Ki Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel was recruited for joining these provinces. He was a very straightforward and a clear man. He started joining the provinces with India. He used to go to the kings and used to join their hands and tell that you please come with India and join with India. He was a very straightforward man, as you know. So Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel was given the charge for joining these provinces. Then he was successful in doing this, but at last three provinces were left. One is Junagadh, which you can find in the Saurashtra of Gujarat. Now you can find. Then Hyderabad. At that time, Hyderabad was a bigger province. It consisted of today's Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Karnataka, some parts of Karnataka, and some parts of Maharashtra. You think about that, how big it is. And Jammu and Kashmir. Junagadh and Hyderabad was not a problem for India, but Jammu Kashmir as a bordering state, it created a complex problem for India. First of all, let us talk about what happened in the Junagadh case. When Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel went to the king of Junagadh, at that time Junagadh king was Muhabbat Khan. He straightforwardly told, I will not join with India, I will join with Pakistan. Then what Indian government told, that will not provide you any type of water sources and any type of food to eat. So as you know that how Pakistan and how Junagadh there is a large distance between them, and only we can go to 12 nautical miles as per the international data. We can only pass over 12 nautical miles in the sea. So it was a difficult task for going from Junagadh to Pakistan. So in 1947 June, Junagadh's king Muhabbat Khan signed the paper to join with Pakistan. But afterwards, due to there was these type of problems were there, so Muhabbat Khan went to Pakistan, and his secretary wrote a letter to Indian government that we want to join with India, not with Pakistan. So then Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel came, and Nehru also talked. Then they told that if we will make them join, it will be a forceful act. So what they did, they started a play-beside rule. They followed a play-beside rule on which 90% agreed to join with India. So Junagadh also came with India. Then let's come to Hyderabad part. Hyderabad, as you can see, it is in the middlemost part or in the Deccan Plateau of India. How it can join with Pakistan? But their king, the king was not totally agreed to join with Pakistan, to join with India. So what happened? At that time, when India forced to join with them. So that the king of that Hyderabad went to UN and told that the Indians are forcing me to join with them. So UN government told that uh, a standstill agreement will be followed, according to which 1 year would be given to the king of Hyderabad to think which nation to join. So at last, after 1 year, Hyderabad also means uh, without any type of hesitation, they also without any hesitation they also joined India. So next come to Jammu and Kashmir. Jammu and Kashmir was a complex issue as it is between the borders of Pakistan, China, India and Afghanistan. So it was having a very means complex problem. Next. So at that time Hari Singh was the king of Jammu and Kashmir. So Hari Singh, you might have known that Hari Singh was the king of Jammu and Kashmir. So he wanted, to be independent or free, because he was confused at that time that whether to join with India or with Pakistan. Because in India, if you will join, then his what king he will lose his he will lose it, and if he will join with India, he will lose its power. And as India is completely democratic, but if he will join with Pakistan, then first of all he will lose its power, then and the secondly, as he was a Hindu, and in his kingdom 70 in his state 70% of the people were Muslim. So he thought that he will be killed or something, what his intentions came to his mind. So he decided to be wanted free. So when Lord Mountbatten and Hari Singh was having a good relation, so when he talked to Lord Mountbatten told that you decide whether you should join with India or with Pakistan. So and given him also 1 day to think about it. But what happened? Hari Singh did not give any reply also after several questions to him. After several requests also, Hari Singh did not give any reply. And after failing to get two provinces also, Muhammad Ali Jinnah wanted to capture Jammu and Kashmir at that time. He was dreaming always about Jammu and Kashmir, how Jammu and Kashmir, as he was a person that he wanted that Pakistan should be big and very much large nation he wanted. So he also wanted to capture Jammu and Kashmir. At that time, Sheikh Abdullah, who was a great scholar, now you can say that Sheikh Abdullah, the grandfather of Umar Abdullah and the father of Farooq Abdullah, who formed the National Communist Party in Jammu and Kashmir. So he was a great scholar at that time and also wanted to join with the Jammu Kashmir's that kingdom, or that Jammu Kashmir's where king used to stay. He wanted to be his secretary. So what happened? Ki at in Hari Singh's court, the Hindu personnels were given more importance and were given more higher positions than the Muslim personnels. When he got to know that Sheikh Abdullah was a Muslim, he simply rejected him and told to work as his means at lower positions or somewhat. Then he opposed, Sheikh Abdullah opposed that I will not work with you, and got offended. Then afterwards, what happened? That Sheikh Abdullah explained people, telling about the democratic secularism. Then he was having a huge popularity among the people. After hearing this, Hari Singh was quite afraid. He thought that his leadership or his power will be removed. Then what he did, that he put Sheikh Abdullah into the jail of his kingdom. Then what happened? Uh, People started revolting that Sheikh Abdullah should be free. Sheikh Abdullah should be free. Then on June 1947, Sheikh Abdullah was free. So when at that time Muhammad Ali Jinnah wanted to talk to Sheikh Abdullah that he should join Jammu and Kashmir as he was having a great popularity, so he should intimate people to join with Jammu and Kashmir, but uh, Sheikh Abdullah rejected his offer. He wanted to join with India as because India was a secular and a democratic state. He wanted that there should not be any type of power division on religious basis, or it should not be a religious country. It should be a secular country. So he decided to join with India. Then what happened? After several trials also, Sheikh Abdullah did not admit his offer of Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Then he tried a second method. What he did, here you can see here, he is Jawaharlal Nehru, as you can see. He is Lord Mountbatten. He is Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. He is Muhammad Ali Jinnah. He is Sheikh Abdullah, and he is the Hari Singh, who was the king of Jammu and Kashmir, and he is Sheikh Abdullah, who was a great scholar at that time. Also, you can say the grandfather of Umar Abdullah. Then what happened? Muhammad Ali Jinnah called his brigand Akbar Khan, or his special secretary Akbar Khan, to fight or to attack Jammu and Kashmir, to capture it. So Akbar Khan, what he did, he took some Khattar tribals. These one means, you can say, these are inhumans. They used to kill people in a very devastating way that you cannot see the image of that people also. You cannot see them also. They used to kill the people like that, and formed Azad Kashmir Sena, and moved from Waziristan to Muzaffarabad, which is also known as POK at this time, Pakistan occupied Kashmir. Then after this, when this Sena arrived Muzaffarabad, Hari Singh got to know about the information. So he was little afraid what will happen if they will come and destroy his whole kingdom. Then what will happen to his power? So what he did, he called his secret minister Rajendra Singh and told to attack on the Sena with his personals. But Rajendra Singh was a sharp-minded person. What he did, he told that his Sena contains most of the Muslim members, and they are at the lower positions also. If they will attack upon these people, then what will happen? They contain whole Muslim. They will tell that you come on this side, we will attack them, and you will get a good amount of money, and you will get higher positions also. So he was little afraid about this thing. But Hari Singh told that nothing will happen. We are having good relations on them. Then what happened? They moved towards Baramulla. This Rajendra Singh with his force, and thus Azad Kashmir Sena moved towards Uri. You might have listened the word Uri. It from means, here I will show you where it is Uri there. Wait. Here you see Waziristan is not there. Here it is Muzaffarabad. Then it is Uri. in this if here one film is also made, you might have seen on one film is also made on this place. Then Baramulla. Here you can see one river is connecting. This is the Jhelum river, and from here one bridge is there to so that they can go to Baramulla, and then they will go to Srinagar. Because if they will go directly, they have to climb towards the mountain, and they have brought thousands and thousands people in jeep. So they first thought to go to Baramulla, then to Srinagar. Srinagar is nearly about 120 kilometers from Baramulla. So what they did when the Rajendra Singh's Sena reached towards Baramulla, most as his assumption, most of the members of his force went to that Uri and joined with that Azad Kashmir Sena. His assumption was true. So what he did, he knew that if he will fight with them, they will definitely lose, and Jammu and Kashmir will be taken by this, won by this this Srinagar. They will reach and they will destroy the kingdom. Then what he did, he used his mind. What he did, he blasted this bridge. Then what will happen? They can't go to Baramulla. So it will take nearly 2 days to recover this bridge. So what they did in these 2 days, he went to Hari Singh and told that told that the Sena has reached Uri, and then we have destroyed the bridge. It will take nearly about 2 days to come from Uri to Baramulla with his Sena. So what he did, he was quite helpless at that time. So at that time he called Lord Mountbatten to do what to do at that time. So Lord Mountbatten gave him an idea that you join with India so that you will be having no problem. Then Indian force will reach and will help you to protect your kingdom. But Hari Singh was totally afraid. He was not quite interested to join with India. So what he did, that then afterwards Hari Singh did not give any importance to that. He thought that they will be not be able to cross that bridge. So what happened, after 2 days, when they crossed the bridge and went to Baramulla, they created a huge destruction, and the women were gang raped, and the children's were totally killed by these Pakistani officers. So what happened then afterwards, after listening the incident of that Baramulla, these Hari Singh and their officials started shouting. This shouting then reached to Delhi. Then what happened? There was a meeting between Lord Mountbatten, Jawaharlal Nehru and Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. So at that meeting, Jawaharlal Nehru and Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel told that they should put their force in Jammu and Kashmir to protect the Srinagar from these Pakistani officials, from this Sena, Azad Kashmir Sena, or we can say. So what happened at that time? Lord Mountbatten was having a problem. According to the new UN resolutions rule, that no country can go beyond any other territory without his permission. So what happened? Then for making Jammu and Kashmir safe, there was one option for Raja Hari Singh, that he has to sign the join with India. That paper he has to sign. One agreement was there. So Raja Hari Singh at the time of signing. So wait. So what happened? Before this, B.P. Benon, the Indian Sachiv, or we can say the Indian financialist, talked with the higher officials of Raja Hari Singh, and they told that only one thing can conclude Jammu and Kashmir. Either it will be attacked and taken by Pakistan, or India will save us. So at last, what happened? What happened? Ki Raja Hari Singh, as he was having no way, so he signed the letter of joining with India, and VP Benon, who was the Indian financialist, he brought it to the Delhi. Then what happened? There was another time there was a meeting between Lord Mountbatten, Jawaharlal Nehru, and Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. So what happened? Then, as Jammu and Kashmir has joined with with India, so then Lord Mountbatten told that you should send your navy forces to Jammu and Kashmir. Then they told that before 27 on 26 October 1947, Hari Singh signed this agreement. On 27th October 1947, they told that on the morning their navy forces will reach to Srinagar and protect Jammu and Kashmir. Then at the time of sleeping at night, Lord Mountbatten told his personal secretary that if in the morning Indian Navy successfully reach Srinagar and protect the officials, then he would means wake him up and told him. But if they didn't be able to reach Srinagar, then he gave him a revolver and told to shoot him while he was sleeping. So what happened? So on 27th October 1947, the Indian Navy reached to Jammu and Kashmir, and the fight started between Azad Kashmir Sena and Indian Navy. What happened? That Indian Navy has reached to Srinagar, and the Azad Kashmir Sena has bounded them from four sides. Means the Srinagar was bounded by the Azad Kashmir Sena from four sides, and at that time Sheikh Abdullah helped them to fight with these Azad Kashmir Sena. So then this fight continued till 14 to 15 months. We'll talk about it later. Then what happened? Muhammad Ali Jinnah was not satisfied in the agreement of Raja Hari Singh that he signed to join with India. He told that he forcefully made him to join with India, and most of the people wanted to join in Pakistan. So he called Jawaharlal Nehru, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, and Lord Mountbatten to Lahore to talk with them. But Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel was a different kind. But Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel did not accept. He told that if they want to talk with us, they would come here and we'll talk with them. And finally, Muhammad Ali Jinnah did not go to India, and Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel did not go to Lahore, and that was over. But Lord Mountbatten went to Lahore and told that Hari Singh has signed to join with India. Finally, India has Kashmir. So and also he told to stop the war. And finally, on 31st December 1948, a resolution was passed by UN that the people of India and those people of Indian Army and the people of Pakistan, those that Azad Kashmir Sena, where they are, they will stop the war and stand still there, and from there one line will be drawn, which is now called the LOC border. You must have known that. And also another resolution was passed that Pakistani Sena should go to Pakistan, and the tribals which came up from Waziristan, they will also go to that place. And previously why Jawaharlal Nehru was so confident? Because say he knew that 30% of the Indians will go come to India, they will be in their favor, and rest come to 70% of Muslims. 70% of Muslims, but Sheikh Abdullah was a popular man among the Muslims, so he was quite confident that that the Jammu Kashmir people will come and join with India. Then the third resolution was passed that after the Pakistani army and these tribal people will go to Pakistan, then play and this Indian army will go to their place, then one plebiscite rule will be applied. Then from that, those who will be in favor those will be in favor. Like if India means most of the people agreed to join with India, then India will attain Kashmir. So, but till now, Pakistani army did not go to that. They went to their places, and now till now also line of control is there, and but uh, but it took till now line of control is there. So this was the history of Jammu and Kashmir. So then comes to the next part, special status to Jammu and Kashmir, that is Article 370 and 35. So at the time of signing, Hari Singh told that there should be some special provisions given to Jammu and Kashmir, that is the Jammu and Kashmir topography cannot be changed. Then point number 2 is nobody can go and buy land in Jammu and Kashmir. Then third thing is they will have their own flag, and all these things were included under this Article 370 and 35A by our constitution makers. So these Article 370 and 35A is giving some of the special status to Jammu and Kashmir, which makes it different from any other states in India. Then coming to the next part, then what were the revolts of people on Article 370 and 35A? So different political parties like BJP, or here you can see that Kejriwal's party or Aam Aadmi Party, Mayawati, supported the revocation of Article 370 and 35A. But some of the political leaders in Jammu and Kashmir, like Mehbooba Mufti, the political leader of People Democratic Party, strongly revolted against the revocation of Article 370 and 35A. But on 5th August 2019, this Article 370 is completely removed from our Indian Article 370 and 35A is completely removed from our Indian Constitution, and a new amendment was passed. But at the time of signing, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel told that this should be in a temporary basis, not on a permanent basis. But this temporary basis took 70 years to be removed. Think about it. These 70 years, Jammu and Kashmir means they have many special status than any other states in India. Then what happened after the removal of 370 and 35A? Here you can hear one video is there that I want to show you. This is the speech of Amit Shah on the revocation of Article 370 and 35A. So that speech will continue in our next video. Please